Hello, my friend. Tonight, I'm going to tell you a story that isn't just unsettling, it's truly terrifying. Caught on camera at the most unexpected times. From the grip of sleep paralysis to a real ghost standing in the room. This video is not for the faint of heart. Watch until the end if you can. For weeks, the young couple had known no peace. Every night, the silence of their home was broken by an unsettling sound, as if someone was slowly, carefully moving through the hallways, stepping across the floor, trying not to make a noise. At first, they tried to convince themselves it was nothing, just their imagination, the play of shadows, the creak of old wood. But with each passing night, the unease grew. One evening, determined to end their doubts, they left a camera recording through the night. The goal was simple, to make sure there was no one in the house. But instead of peace of mind, they captured footage that would haunt them forever. In the dim glow of the night vision, something slowly emerged from the doorway of the next room. At first, only two long, unnaturally thin arms, with fingers stretched into sharp claws. Shadows slid across the walls, and it became clear this was no human. Then, as if sensing it was being watched, the creature leaned forward. Its face, if it could be called a face, was twisted, and from deep-set eyes poured a cold, lifeless light. The recording ended abruptly, as if the equipment itself couldn't bear the encounter. But what the camera had managed to capture was enough to make the couple pack their things and leave, with no intention of ever coming back. And you? Could you spend another night in a house where something like this is watching you from the dark? At first glance, the video seems ordinary. A young woman peacefully sleeping, breathing quietly, barely moving. But within moments, that calm image begins to distort. Her body twitches, at first subtly, then with sharp, unnatural jolts, as if invisible hands are pulling at her from within. Later, she would say that something paranormal happened that night. She was asleep, yet deep down she knew something was there. She tried to open her eyes, to scream, but couldn't. Her body was no longer hers to command. On the footage, it looks unsettling. The jerky, convulsive movements seem to rip her from her resting position. She stretches and twists as if struggling to break free. But something or someone holds her down. Pay close attention to her shirt. It stretches and wrinkles in ways that suggest it's being pulled by unseen threads. In those moments, it's hard to believe she's doing it herself. This wasn't the first time. That's why she had set up the camera, to catch the moment and finally understand what was happening to her at night. But as she watched the recording, she realized one thing. There was no explanation that could bring her peace. And you? Do you believe this is just a staged act? Or do you think something truly unexplainable happened in her room? This video will not leave you indifferent. The security cameras placed around the property were meant to keep the owner safe. But instead, they captured something that still sends chills down his spine. In the footage, you can see something that, at first glance, cannot be called human. In the dim light, it moves slowly near the house. At first, it looks like an animal that's wandered off, but its movements are far too deliberate, too precise. Its silhouette is unnaturally elongated, its limbs moving in strange, unnatural ways. And then a second one appears. They move low to the ground, crawling on all fours, as if sniffing for something. But then, both of them rise onto two legs, and the sight burns into your mind. Their posture mimics that of a human, yet every detail of their bodies feels designed for something else entirely, something alien. The camera seems to draw closer, and the nearer they appear, the more unsettling their behavior becomes. They scan the area like hunters, slowly circling the property as if choosing a point for what? An attack? A way inside. What these creatures are and why they came remains a mystery. But one thing is certain. The owner of this house had better be very, very careful, because visitors like these rarely come only once. This clip is short, but its atmosphere will chill you to the bone. The sender's only comment was, "What the hell is going on in this house?" From the very first frame, something feels off. The camera sits motionless, the hallway bathed in dim light. The faint static hum of the recording blends with the quiet, muffled sounds of the house. And then, in a split second, something passes through the frame. A pale, translucent figure moving too fast to catch every detail, yet clear enough to know it should not be there. It seems to slip out of the darkness of the hallway and vanish into the next room. No footsteps, no creak of the floor, just a shadow gliding through the air. What was it? A spirit? A ghost? A poltergeist? The longer you watch, the stronger the feeling grows that the silence beyond the camera isn't empty. It's watching, as if that very figure is still somewhere nearby, just waiting for the right moment to appear again. So tell me, would you be able to sleep soundly after seeing something like this in your own home? That night, he couldn't sleep. Nightmares came in waves, each one snapping him awake at the worst possible moment. Outside, something rustled, faint, deliberate. At first, he thought it was just the wind, but the sound was too steady, too measured, like footsteps shifting cautiously through dry grass. He lay there, trying to ignore it, but the feeling that someone or something was in the yard kept growing until he couldn't bear it any longer. Slowly, he got up and went to the window, and then his heart stopped. Out in the yard, deep in the shadows, two massive red eyes stared directly at him. They shimmered faintly but never blinked, locking onto him with a cold, unyielding gaze. Around them, barely visible against the darkness, was a huge silhouette, tall with unnaturally long arms. It became hard to breathe, but instead of backing away, he grabbed his camera. He crept downstairs, approaching the glass door that led outside. Now the creature was closer. In the faint glow of the night, he could make out more. Its skin, or was it fur, seemed to swallow light, and its breathing was deep, steady, far too quiet for something that size. It didn't take a single step toward him. It didn't attack, and yet that made it worse. The thing simply stood there, watching, as if waiting for him to make the first move. What happened next is a mystery. The recording ends abruptly, leaving only silence, and those burning eyes that will haunt him for the rest of his life. I'll just say this: never look out your window at night. Ever.